What is our first main topic today?
Well, John, our first main topic comes from Josh Nitkin, who says, I just read that there will be a new Saw film debuting in October of 2023. I love the original and thought the twist in the second one was even better than the first. The rest of the movies have been okay at best. Not sure how I feel about this news. I was wondering what your thoughts are. Thanks, and bring on the filthy.
Really? Saw 10? Listen, I kind of feel the way about the Saw franchise as I feel about the Scream franchise. I like the first one like everybody. And everything else after that was kind of drivel to me. I really didn't really enjoy any of the Saw films after the first one, where you had Dread Pirate Roberts in the first one there. Like that, well, that's still the best part about that movie too. But I really liked the first one. But man, that whole concept got dragged out like a lot, to the point now that we're talking about 10. So is it the dumbest idea in the world? Not really. I mean, one of the most valuable things in entertainment right now is recognizable IP. Saw has that recognizable IP. And the Halloween franchise, going back to the other one, the Scream franchise just showed that you can come back to it maybe after it's already run out of steam and breathe some new life into it. And hell, I like the new Scream movie, and I haven't liked any of the other ones since the first one. So you come back to a recognizable name like Saw, you bring in one of the directors that the fans of the original franchise seem to like, and maybe you have like a new Scream situation where you can actually turn it into a modest little hit. This comes from the folks over at Variety who wrote the following. There's more Saw to cut through in 2023 as Lionsgate and Twisted Pictures have just announced the next installment of the billion-dollar franchise. That's billion-dollar when you add all 9 of them up. Will arrive with a new movie slated for October 27th, 2023, so just a little over a year away. This will be the 10th movie in the highly successful franchise. The film will be directed by Kevin, I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name, who helmed Saw 6 in 2009 and Saw the Final Chapter 2010, while serving as the editor for the first 5 installments and Jigsaw in 2017. So they're going back to the IP. They're going to go back to somebody who's a veteran of the series, worked on like 7 of the films, 2 of them as its director. You know what? Do I love this franchise? No. But do I think this is probably a pretty good move? Actually, yes. Rob, you hear about this. What do you think about coming back for Saw 10?
Well, I just hope they take a page from the Friday the 13th franchise. Jason X, John, they go to space. And what I'm thinking about is maybe this is set on a moon base, raid like that. But no, I mean, I actually think the first 3 Saw films work pretty well as a pretty great trilogy. I honestly do. I thought the first one, that was, of course, James Wan's first breakout feature. Lee Wanell wrote it. And that was sort of ground zero for the beginnings of their careers. And I think that the Saw franchise, I like it in theory because it plays in, but now they've tried to make it one long story. It was first Jigsaw, then it was the legacy of Jigsaw, then the legacy of Jigsaw.
I just remember after like Saw something where I was like, how long is he going to be dying for?
And how many people are going to follow him? Yes. You know, there was that Kevin Bacon TV series, The Following.
Which I like that show, at least the first season or 2.
Yeah, it was pretty good. But this, again, space. I'm hoping for space. Maybe on the ISS when Tom Cruise is shooting his next movie there.
Chris?
Chris.
John,
sorry. It's like my dad and my mom just showed up. As a nameless executive once said, what's the take? What's the cost? That's really going to be. What's your take on this thing? Like, if it's a good take, if it works out, Top Gun is an example of, granted, it's not 10 movies in, but it's years later. Can it what was the take, right? What's the cost of it overall? I think that's going to be, can it make a profit on side of the 10? Because if it starts to add up in cost after a 10th movie of a franchise that's kind of run its course, if you will, then it's like maybe it's not worth it. But if you can make a profit on it, if there is an exciting new take that you could do. Now, to be fair, I've never seen a one of these movies. Out of
really
all 10.
None of them.
Wow.
The first one.
Not a one. I had friends that kept trying to say, watch it. You love it. You love the first one. Just one of those movies I never got around to seeing.
The first one is legitimately, for a low budget B movie.
Yeah, it's
actually really good.
Yeah, it's quite good. And so that's the other thing. Juan has nothing to do with this, right?
No.
Right. So that's one of the things for me. I mean, even though I can't really reference it because I don't know it, but I would say that his involvement would be intriguing to me, but it's not there. Not to say this guy isn't. But I don't know. I think for the franchise, if it is a new take, if it's interesting, hey, maybe it's Saw in space with goats and chickens. Who knows? But whatever it might be, let's see what it is, and it probably makes sense.
All right, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Are you a fan of the Saw franchise? Maybe you haven't been. Would you be intrigued by a new one? I got to admit, I at least a little bit am. Whatever you guys think, jump down into the comment section below and leave your thoughts there. Hey guys, we want to take a second to thank the sponsor of this episode, Babbel. Now, as an Italian, did you guys know my real name is Giovanni? Anyway, as an Italian that doesn't actually speak a lot of Italian, I've always wanted to learn better Italian so I could converse with my Italian relatives. And that's where Babbel is a godsend. And for you guys, for all your summer travels, or whether you're going abroad or staying domestic and want to immerse yourself in the culture, now is the perfect time to start Babbel. Babbel is the language learning app that sold more than 10 million subscriptions. Thanks to Babbel's addictively fun and easy bite-sized language lessons, there's still time to learn a new language before you reach your destination. With Babbel, you only need 10 minutes to complete a lesson, so you can start having real-life conversations in a new language in as little as 3 weeks. Now, other language learning apps use AI for their lesson plans, but Babbel lessons were created by over 150 language experts. With Babbel, you can choose from 14 different languages, including Spanish, French, Italian, and German, and others. Right now, you can save up to 60% off your subscription when you go to babbel.com/Campea. That's babbel.com/Campea for up to 60% off your subscription. Babbel, language for life.